We have a call to order, please, at 5:38, roll call.
Cost.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
Komitas.
Here.
Landers.
Here.
Rapp.
Here.
Schrader.
Here. Good. Oh, we don't even have it? Oh, we do. There. Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a motion for approval of the regular meeting agenda, please.
Make a motion to approve our regular meeting agenda.
And a second.
Second.
And we have a second. Roll call, please.
Kane.
Yes.
Komitas.
Yes.
Landers.
Yes.
Rapp.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
And Cost.
Yes. Okay, so quick explanation, guys. We have to go into a quick executive session to interview 2 potential candidates for school board, and then we'll come back and seat them, and then that way they're part of the remainder of our meeting. So it should only be probably 10 minutes, probably. So we will have to ask everyone to leave except for Shannon, please. Can I have a motion to go into executive session at 5:39 for the purpose of appointment of school board member?
Make a motion to go into executive session at 5:39 for the appointment of school board member.
And a second?
Second.
And a second. Roll call.
Landers.
Yes.
Rapp.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
Cost.
Yes.
Kane.
Yep.
Komitas.
Yes.
You have the recorder.
Welcome back, everyone. 11 minutes, we were pretty close to on schedule. So moving on to item 5, appointment of our school board member. It was a really tight race. But if we could have a motion to appoint Shannon Deeds, please.
Make a motion to appoint Shannon Beats as our new school board member.
She will, okay, Holly seconds for clarification before we vote. This is the term ending
Whenever the next election is.
the next primary election. So it's like 18, this coming April? Would have been that seat? Okay. So through April of 2023. Just want to make sure we have it there. And then roll call.
Cost.
Yes.
Kane.
Yep.
Komitas.
Yes.
Landers.
Yes.
Rapp.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
Well, welcome aboard. We'll just do what she said.
I have it
You really?
still.
For real,
I think
Sarah.
so. I literally just saw it tonight. I'm pretty sure it did.
Okay, Miss Shannon, we have a nice fun long thing for you to read. If you want to come on up.
I do.
Purposely forgot.
I saved it just for you.
You know what we call that? We call that.
Yes.
teamwork.
Okay. All right, whose stuff is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, who else was sitting here?
I
Thank
mean, I took
you.
out the big packet, but for some reason that stayed.
Okay, so this is the oath of office. It's state required.
Okay.
So rather than reading back and forth to each other, I'll just have you raise your right hand and go ahead and read it in its entirety.
I, Shannon Beeds, do solemnly swear that I faithfully discharge the duty of the office of a member of the Board of Education, or of Mendota Elementary District 289, in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability. I further swear that I shall respect taxpayers' interests by serving as faithful protector of the school district's assets. I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board, while respecting the privacy of students and employees. I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual, and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote as a public board meeting. I shall abide by the majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels. As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibilities of my role in the equity and quality education of every student in the school district. I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Mendota Elementary District 289. I shall assist in establishing a structure and environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework. I shall strive to encourage a continuous assessment of student achievement, all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law. I shall serve as educators' key advocate on behalf of students and our community school to advance the vision for the Elementary District 289, and I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision of the board, the vision the board has created, fostering the excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
Great, congratulations, welcome aboard. We will have, Socorro will probably follow up with you and Brad as well. There's some state mandated trainings and different things you'll have to complete online coming up, but we'll get all that for you. And then for this evening, feel free to participate as much or as little as you feel comfortable. If you just want to listen and stay for vote, that's totally fine too.
Yeah.
Okay.
If on votes, you have to have some questions, just vote present.
Okay.
That means you're here, your vote goes with the majority,
Okay.
so you're welcome.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I don't remember that. I'm pretty sure I voted.
Okay, does anyone here this evening would like the opportunity to participate in public comment? Okay. We could have a motion for our consent agenda, please.
Make a motion to approve our consent agenda, disposition of minutes for June 2022, payment of bills, district treasurer's report, in-person activity fund, cafeteria report, and personnel report.
Do we have a second? Amanda seconds, roll call please.
Landers,
Yes.
Rack,
Yes.
Beats,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Cos,
Yes.
Kane,
Yep.
Colitas.
Yes. Okay, do we have any FOIA requests?
No, ma'am.
And then your administrator report.
So for the administrative report, we thought that we would do a 5-minute workbook kind of demo.
Okay.
Get everybody kind of moving through that. Or we could wait and do that at the end of the
Let's
meeting.
let's go ahead and, do we need to have a motion? It's not an action item. so we have to-
Nope.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that.
Yep, we'll do that at the end of the meeting. I did.
All right, so we'll keep the board book demo for near the end before we adjourn tonight. As far as board committees and reports go, the only one that would have met would be negotiations committee, which met and reached resolution. We will be voting to ratify the contract this evening in our action items. The only other thing that is outstanding is the superintendent evaluation. We had intended to have our friend Dee come back in again and do some additional training with us from IASB. She has left, so she's moved on to a different position, so we have had someone else reach out that is willing to meet with us, so we'll be bouncing some of those dates around, and that'll be the next time we get together, committee of the whole, for learning that process.
Yep.
Okay.
Rita Owen has been working with the School Board Association for a year or two, and she's phenomenal people to love working with her.
So that's learning
For
about.
next year.
For next year, okay.
Yep, for next year.
We're
So
still
for-
using the
Correct.
generic, okay,
Yep.
perfect.
And
Yep.
then are we getting those potential dates like at our next meeting or via
No,
email
she
or-
just emailed, was it this morning or last night?
Okay.
Within the last 24 hours.
Are they, like, when are we talking?
So I don't really know what
okay.
her schedule even is like, because I don't know. Dee just told me like a couple days ago when
Yeah.
we had thrown some dates around that she would be leaving, so she's this new lady's actually in the regional, like higher up, right? She's not field office.
I think she's
Is she
been,
field
yep,
office?
she's been
Okay.
doing field service work for a long time.
Okay, so we will figure it out and introduce ourselves and give it, so as soon as I get some dates, I'll just email everybody to set that committee date, okay? So that would be it for the consideration of committee reports. I do have a question for you though. In regards to negotiation committee prior to ratification, do we need to have a closed session to fill in our board at all?
I think that would be prudent.
Okay. So, should we do that before we get into the rest, into the action items, or get to that point?
You can either do it now or get to that point.
Alright, let's get to that point.
Okay.
Alright, so item 9.1, which is the risk management plan, and we talked about that at our last meeting, but we need to have that action item. Are there any questions in regards to that? Do we all remember what that was before?
You
Okay.
wanna explain it like it's
Cer- Certainly, so the risk management plan, it is a document that basically details out a large part of a lot of people's jobs in a school organization. A big part of what they do is they keep kids safe. And that, in that risk management plan, this is really an accounting mechanism. It allows us, instead of only paying for salaries out of the education fund, now we can pay it out of the tort community fund. And so,
Portions of certain types
Yep.
of salaries,
Yep.
yes.
and so it just gives us greater flexibility from an accounting perspective.
Okay, so we need to have an official adoption of that risk management plan, if we could have a motion, please.
Make a motion to approve the risk management plan as previously presented.
And a second?
I'll second.
Holly seconds, roll call.
Schrader,
Yes.
Cost,
No.
Kane,
Yes.
Kumitas,
Yes.
Landers,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Beats,
President. That motion, okay, passed 6-1. Hourly employee wage increase. This goes back to, again, tying in with the contract to ratify, correct?
So this,
We do it at the same time every year.
this is specific with our hourly employees and how we are kind of in a ramping process to meet that $15 an hour minimum wage as dictated by statute. This is basically $1.25 model. It's the same model that we've used a couple of years in a row now. And so this is just a continuation of that philosophy.
And that philosophy keeps us on track to meet the minimum amount by Virginia, correct?
That is correct.
And for, while I'm waiting for this to just load and load and load, it is percentage or it is flat for each job,
Flat for each.
for each job category?
Correct. So the result would technically be that across the board, different people would have different percentage increases, but they would all have the same $1.25 an hour.
Okay, so it goes on their existing base as that $1.25. All right, are there any questions on that? Again, this is that roadmap that we developed a number of years ago, once we knew that the minimum wage was gonna be where it was, and worked backwards on what that minimum would have to be in order to get to that point, so. We have no further questions. If we could please make the motion as printed here in item 9.2.
Make a motion to approve the hourly employee wage increase of $1 per hour on all base wages with an additional 25 cents per year of experience and an increase of $1.25 per hour for full-time employees.
Do you have a second? Second. And roll call.
Cost,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Kumitas,
Yes.
Landers,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Beats,
President?
Schrader.
Yes.
Our next item is our personnel contracts. This is our admin.
Social work and psychology.
Okay. Those would have been in the board.
In the board packet.
Did anyone have any questions about any of those contracts? There were reasons provided in regards to length of time in those contracts as well. We won't be discussing any specific people in open session. If if we need to table this for action later, if you have any specific questions prior to vote, let me know now. Otherwise, we can go ahead and motion.
I make a motion to approve the personnel contracts as presented.
Second?
Mr. Seconds, roll call.
Schrader,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Cumitas,
Yes.
Landers,
Yes.
Rapp,
yes,
Beats,
Present. Our next one, this is the same thing we discussed at last time when we held our, hearing for the student tuition waiver. This allows for staff members who work in the district and have children who would not normally reside within the school district boundary to have their children attend our school district. The state let us know upon application that we actually need to have a separate time to pass this motion aside from the original hearing. So we just need to motion again to approve this previously presented student tuition waiver.
I move to approve the student tuition waiver as previously presented.
Second.
second,
And a second, roll call please.
Cumitas,
Yes.
Landers,
Yes.
Rapp,
yes,
Beats,
Present.
Schrader,
Yes.
Haas,
Yes.
Kane.
Yes.
Item 9.5 is our administrative cost limitation waiver. This is in place because of an action item earlier in the last fiscal year that, in regards to payment of outgoing sick time for the previous,
Vacation.
or vacation time
Yep.
for the previous superintendent. And so that, coupled with the current existing costs, triggered us to have a waiver. It's not an ongoing cost, it's a one-time thing based on action taken quite a while ago, actually.
Right.
So it's more of a formality than anything, so if we could have a motion for item 9.5.
Motion to approve the administrative cost limitation waiver as previously presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second, roll call please.
Kane,
Yes.
Cumitas,
Yes.
Landers,
Yes.
Rapp,
yes,
Beats,
Present?
Schrader,
Yes.
Haas.
Sorry to make everybody get up a second time, but we're gonna call in one more executive session for the full board, to review the contract, pending ratification before we make that vote. So if we could have a vote to enter to executive session for the purpose of discussing that contract, please.
Make a motion to move to executive session for the purpose of discussing our MEA contract.
Second?
So we are back in open session, our camera's on, our recorder's off.
Yes.
All right, here we go. So we are gonna have item 9.6, which is to ratify the MEA contract. Before we do so, I just wanted to share some comments this evening. For this board, which is a new board, compared, there's a few of us that have been around, but I would say the majority new and a very different direction than maybe in the past. We also have the pleasure of a new legal firm representing the board, which has been very interactive and very knowledgeable and helped us to lead in a really good direction. Speaking from past experience, I felt was joined with Amanda and Kristen on the negotiations team and Brad, of course, being there. Felt the flavor and the feeling of this was a lot more positive than historically speaking. That was super important to our board as a whole and something we discussed in detail before we ever went into negotiations, that we wanted to make sure this represented our commitment and dedication to recruiting and retaining valuable staff, of really kind of putting our actions, where we know it'll prove to be true, what direction we wanted the district to go, that we felt it was important to be grounded in transparency in a way that showed value to our educators. We want to be relevant, we want to be competitive. We did a good comparative dive of area districts, quite a few area districts, and saw where we sat in comparison with others, especially around some of the TRS. And we, I think, had a moment of eye-opening and not really realizing how maybe far off base we had gotten, from where everybody else was at. And we really wanted to make sure we brought ourselves back into that acceptable realm there. And outside of the financial components of it, we really tried to, as a board, listen to our teachers and what was important to them. And, tonight we passed what the student tuition waiver, which I know was another thing that the conversation initiated during negotiations, and then being able to offer that benefit, and a number of other things, bereavement time, actual personal time aside from, sick banks, cleaning up some of our language so that we were really kind of in today's terminology with the way that things were listed there, taking away some of the nitpick, having to declare why you were taking a personal day and all those types of things. And we really wanted to clean that up and honor the fact that, we have sincere trust and appreciation for who you are and what you do for us. And really thought that was super important. So we heard back that it received very well from the union side. And so tonight we are very honored to be able to take this vote and hope that this really sets a tone and a path for a really collaborative and positive future between the school district board, administration, and our students. With that all being said, now that I'll show, could we have a motion on item 9.6, please?
I'll make a motion to ratify the MEA contract as presented.
And a second?
I'll second.
Callie seconds. Roll call, please.
Cos,
Yes.
Kane,
Absolutely.
Camitas,
Yes.
Landers,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Dietz,
Present.
Schrader.
Yes.
Alright, so that motion passes 7-0. Yay!
Awesome.
And it's not October.
It's not October, right? We have one final action item, which is item 9.7, our student handbook revisions. Those were presented in the board packet. If there are any questions regarding that? Nothing of
It's mostly
substantial.
just like basics.
Punctual
Yeah.
and,
Okay.
yeah.
I read every single one and I'm like,
Oh,
this is
good for
another
you.
space.
Yeah. Okay, if we have no questions, then if we could have a motion on item 9.7, please.
Make a motion to approve the student handbook revisions as presented.
In a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Landers,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Dietz,
Yes.
Schrader,
Yes.
Cos,
Yes.
Kane,
Yep.
Camitas.
Yes. All right, so what we'll do now, we do have both an informational item and then we'll have a final closed session, but we'll go ahead and take a brief recess right now. My understanding is pizza's in the workroom for the board before we head back. Help yourself to cookies and we will come back in just a couple minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Like Holly or somebody can just keep that screen going for us while we're in the meeting, she can focus on.
Meeting
Just an
minutes.
idea,
Meeting minutes.
yeah.
I think it will definitely be a work in progress.
Yeah.
But I think it's
We can try it the next meeting and see how it's going and what we think about it. Does everyone feel comfortable enough to utilize this at least for the motions and the agenda and not having these printed versions in front of you for the next meeting?
I'm fine with that.
You will still have your action items in the hard copy.
We can print you a copy.
Yeah, cause like under consent agenda, there isn't a note that says, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda. You know, like the action items that we have that are listed here, like, the
Yeah,
one,
if you
make
click on it.
recommendation to approve our regular meeting agenda, that's there, but the note isn't under the consent. So I think if the action items are on the items here, we wouldn't need this.
Okay.
If that's possible.
I can do that,
Yeah.
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 I think the recommended motion under each one is great because then that also makes sure that that's the language we're reading from is the language being recorded in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we had just a couple agendas printed for the public
Mhm.
anyways, if
And one
if
for
one of
Amanda.
us wanted it, then it would be.
I was trying to do it, but I'm under you, so it won't let me do it.
Oh, logged in
Yeah.
as me, yeah. I don't have that power.
And then we have a calendar of our meetings for us, and you can add in the option to add in from IASB. No. Yeah,
I believe so.
yeah. And then if we had private board things, a regular meeting, so yeah, it's,
And then there is really good training under this question mark. That you can also view.
Where's the question mark?
Right up
Oh,
top.
duh. Okay, right there. Okay. Awesome.
so why don't we all commit to trying to learn, like, watch the little question mark if you can. And we'll practice at the next meeting with it, and trying to utilize it as we walk through the meeting. And then after we do a meeting and it's working well, then we can probably do a nice public splash about people being able to log on and to review information, see what's on an upcoming agenda, review past meetings and the minutes and attachments and those kind of things would be good.
Sounds great.
Cool. All right.
Are these, just out of curiosity, in the help, are these more from administrative or are they about participating?
There's both in there.
Okay.
Just don't go in the nightly maintenance window between midnight and 5 a.m.
Okay. I won't log on at midnight.
Make sure you stay out at midnight to 5, okay? So you can't sleep, don't get up and play with us.
That's what I would do.
Right?
You probably.
I
Would
would
you?
not. I wouldn't do that. I'm a nerd, but not.
Okay, so we do need to, is everyone good? That sounds like a good plan, we'll kind of try to soft launch
Ooh,
it
there is-
together.
I just found the PDF on electronic voting. I'll save it.
Cool.
See, I thought, like, but
don't
I
think we
watched,
paid for
but
that
I watched
version, though.
Word docs
Oh,
and
that- there are a
workbooks.
couple
Yeah.
different
That could
levels,
very
yeah.
well be,
It's a
yep.
tier 2 feature.
Yep.
Yes,
That
have
could
tier
be.
one.
Okay. Oh, okay, never mind. Correct.
No worries, just, yeah.
Okay, if there's no other specific questions
You're
on
the-
this,
you're
we do
done.
need to have a motion to go back into closed session to discuss, personnel litigation.
When we come back out, are we done then, or, okay. I do have one quick question, I don't know where it goes, but, like, did we keep or scratch the tentative special meeting on the 3rd?
Depends on if we finish tonight. Wasn't that the?
Okay, yeah, sorry.
I had a concern, do you remember, I had a concern that the evaluation might take longer than the
Correct, yep,
time we had
yep.
allotted tonight.
Yep,
Um,
okay.
and if so,
then that
we
would be
had
out.
that
Okay.
special meeting, but if we finish tonight, then we can cancel that special
Okay,
meeting.
sounds good, thanks.
Okay. So we need the motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing specific personnel matter.
Motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters.